Okay. Hi, Internet.
Hi.
I am Angela. I am your DM for this evening's episode of Shenanigoons, the Book of Fables. Welcome to what is, I believe, Chapter 18, Spoke Easy.
Oh my god.
We are
I love it.
we are continuing our adventures tonight. I forgot the whole thing. Shenanigoons, that sorta fairy tale D&D adventure where you contribute to the chaos. We are playing, as I said, Dungeons and Dragons this evening with our lovely players. Hello, players. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. You ready to play?
Always.
Yep.
It's not like last time where we were all really hurting emotionally. It's not quite as hurting emotionally. Only a few of us, maybe one person, is hurting emotionally in character.
And we literally spent the whole week being like, "Is it Tuesday yet? Is it Tuesday
Is it
yet?"
Tuesday? Is it
Oh,
Tuesday?
that's the entire Discord at this point for our game.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you all at home are having a nice time. We are here, as we are every Tuesday, to tell you a little story, have some fun, cause a little mayhem, and we here at Nerdsmith are aiming to please. We are members of the Nerdsmith Network. You can find out more about us at nerdsmith.org. Or if you like our show and you decide you'd like to help support us, help us keep the lights on, help us pay our collaborators and our artists, you can find us at patreon.com/nerdsmith. We also have new emojis. That was the biggest thing. I can't believe I forgot to say that.
Emojis.
If you are a regular member of our stream and you follow us, you can find that we have a bunch of new emojis now, including a few for our tier 1, 2, and 3 subscribers. There's some special ones for you. I'm sure some of my players in my private game will be very excited at a couple of them, including a certain glitter-bearded wizard. You get Pinball the Wizard if you are a tier 2 subscriber, and tier 3 subscribers get a Goblin of Love. It's a goblin with hard eyes. Anyway, and there's also things for our bit donators. So different levels of bit donations have also unlocked a few things for you. So yeah, a number of folks should have access to our baby dragon, which I love, and our Modron.
Yay.
Our Modron, a screaming Modron, actually.
Oh, he's adorable.
Seems appropriate considering what happened to our Modron in last.
That's what I thought. I thought it was very appropriate. But yeah, that's the newest stuff on the fun Nerdsmith front. So you guys can play around with those new emojis. And we are also here because of the kind support of a number of amazing companies, namely, first and foremost, Eldritch Foundry, who provided us with the tools to create our beautiful character profiles that you see, or portraits that you see. Eldritch Foundry is a really cool character creation website that lets you print out your characters as miniatures and also get downloadable digital content, so tokens and icons and top-down for using maps, all with your custom-designed fantasy character. You should definitely check them out. Using the link in our chat, you'll let them know we sent you, which helps support us at the network. And if you buy something using that link, we definitely get some support there from them. So if you'd like to check out Eldritch Foundry, you can find the link below. Also, we are sponsored by World Anvil. World Anvil is an amazing campaign management and world building software. It lets you make a wiki, a full repository of knowledge for your worlds, whether you are a campaign. Are we in combat? Calm down. Calm down, music. When I said random, I meant random normal music. So hold your horses. Anyway, so sorry, everybody. Did not mean to make that feel too intense. World Anvil is a very lovely place to be, and it's not at all stressful like that music. But they're an amazing community of creative folks, especially the folks that run it. They are constantly coming out with new updates. I recently got a ping today about some new features and some really cool customization stuff that they allow you to do. They've been tweaking. The guy who runs it, Demetrius, he is a UI designer. He knows what makes websites pretty, and he knows that first and foremost, he wanted it to function well, but now he's working on making it intuitive and beautiful and a smooth experience. So you should definitely check out every time they come up with an update. The site just gets better. So please check them out at worldanvil.com and join them and light up the forge. Finally, we are sponsored by Die Hard Dice. Die Hard Dice is a beautiful dice company, and Tessa has something to say because it is, as we all know, the first show of the month, which means we have new
things to talk about. So, I love these because these are a beautiful purple and copper set. They are known as the Copper Purple Alloy set. They are gorgeous, and I will have to say that these are incredibly lovely little shinies here. So if you want to get your hands on these shinies, you can go to dieharddice.com or visit the link down in our chat right now, and you can use the code Nerdsmith-MAR to get these shinies of your very, very own. So, yeah. Snatch the shinies! And apparently the shinies have been snatched by a gremlin, and maybe we'll have to figure out a way for our viewers to help us get those back by the end of the month. Maybe we'll figure out some quest for y'all to go on to get those shinies.
Intriguing.
Well,
dang dice gremlins.
Dice gremlins, man. What are you gonna do?
Buy more. Buy more dice.
Buy more dice. Perfect.
Hey. I slightly feel invisible when it catches the blue and then it decides, oh god. Anyway, sorry.
Yes, we must.
Can you tell I'm Oh, go ahead.
No, rescue them from Robert the dice gremlin.
Robert the Dice Gremlin. Yeah. Sounds like a good new name for him.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Tessa. So yeah, check out the code in chat and go look at the Copper Purple Alloy set. They're really pretty. We should get you a webcam, like a little dice cam, so you can show them off. Get you a nice light and like a little white background, and we can do like a QVC thing. It'd be fun.
Oh my god.
A selfie light.
I just figured out exactly how I need to do the setup for the ad posted on our Twitter, which is coming soon. Is it needs to be in the Dice Gremlins Horde. We've got to pick them out. So
that's fair. That's fair. So we have a show to do. So let's begin. Previously on Shenanigoons, Chapter 17, you all made your way to Chronogram 2, one of the major cities in Cronus, this island you live on, colonized by the people of Mechanus, the clockwork folk. And Chronogram 2 happens to be Oliette's hometown, her old stomping ground from when she was younger, which was really only 2 days ago. And you made your way back, though you did have a slight hiccup on your way. You found yourselves on the train, and you found the train suddenly stopped as there were some clockwork Mechanus Authority investigators coming down the train. They stopped the train and made their way through with the intent of looking for people's ID. You're not really sure if they were looking for you specifically. Didn't really do much to determine that. There wasn't really much to figure that out. Oh, and yes, Harland was ready with an ID. However, your recently recently reattained comrade, Villain, insisted that they could help get you guys some time to skedaddle. And with Paru changed into a dog, a very cute pooch, a Paruch, I don't know. Pupru? I don't know. Pupru? Like it?
Paru was perfect.
But Paru is
Paru
better.
was also good, yes.
Anyway, I forgot about it. So turned into a dog and basically posed as Verlaine. Well, not Verlaine. Verlaine turned into Harlan's cousin, Tucker. And Tucker and the dog proceeded to slow down the. I don't know why I'm ever surprised that when I laugh at text, it's Kyle in the chat. It's always Kyle. So the two of them, disguised, slowed down the investigators with inane questions and a little game of fetch, and Villain using his what seemed to be a basically totally not ripping off of Doctor Who ID card thing that lets them have whatever ID they need at the time. Totally does, and use that to buy you time. Harland, Oliette, and Beza, you made your way through the tunnel for the train, trying to avoid detection. And on your way towards the front of the train to get out, Oliette, you spied a saboteur, a round little Modron fellow who seemed to be trying to sabotage the train with very little patience for strangers at this point with some of the things that you've been experiencing. You did proceed to scare and chase off and injure and tackle this Modron, who you found to be covered in camouflage paint, jungle camouflage paint, which doesn't really make sense. But you met this Modron and his name was Vector. And when you met Vector, it seemed that Vector was sabotaging the train, yes, but also fully prepared to give you a brochure about his rebellion. Specifically titled, because I totally named it, you got a brochure for the United Force of Free Modes, also known as OOF. And this little Modron handed you a brochure, and with the promise that Oliette wouldn't kill him, went to go rescue Villain and Paru, giving them also a way to get out of the train. They escaped. You escaped. But you all reunited and made your way to your final destination here in Chronogram 2, which is Oliette's uncle's shop. Which, remind me again what it's called, Chris?
It is called Darret's Rare and Fine Tome.
Thank you. I need to put that in my world anvil because I didn't make a note of it. And you, Darret?
His last name is Darret, yeah.
How do you spell it?
Darrut.
Okay, I missed a couple letters, but I almost got it. So, Darret's Rare and Fine Tomes, run by Oliette's uncle Ebb. And you made your way there, and there was not a bad reunion, just confused. Ebb did seem to take it in stride to some degree, though he is very curious about how this happened. And the last thing we left off was Ebb closing the shop for the evening early, and inviting you all into the back, into his home for maybe tea, maybe a snack, and perhaps a little exposition from his niece about what has happened. So, yet we don't have to go through the whole what you tell him, but let me know if there's anything specific you leave out, or something you change, or something you just, or if there's something you emphasize. What do you want him to take away from your explanation of where you've been for 2 days / several years to your perspective?
See, what happened was No, I'm going to basically give him a synopsis of our campaign thus far. I am going to leave out a few things.
Okay.
I'm going to leave out the mean girls.
Okay.
I'm going to leave out that one of the compatriots in this very store with us is the person that has been hunting us down.
Okay, Valaine's treachery is not. He doesn't know about that. Okay.
I would
That's
say
very
he
kind
would
of
know
you.
that somebody's been after us, but I will not drop Valaine's name in this instance.
I will say that during that part of the story, do you make any attempt to look at Valaine when you say anything in that during that story? That part of it, where you kind of say someone's been hunting us, and you like you leave out any of the detail.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't tell. The majority of the story is going to be in Infernal.
Sure. Okay. Then yeah.
So
okay.
I don't know what languages Valaine knows, but I don't think I'm really paying any attention to them at this point. I'm just saying what happened.
Yeah, for the record, Beza is. She's making sure Valaine doesn't run off.
That's fine.
Like
Tucker is still posing as Tucker. Valaine is leaning against the door frame of the kitchen, just kind of listening. Little sullen, but then again, Tucker has kind of resting, sad face, so it's hard to kind of tell if it's Tucker or Valaine making that face.
Haru is still real close to Bill Tucker.
The Tucker. All right, so yeah, you're nearby. And so you, what else do you? Sorry, I interrupted in the middle. So you leave out the mean girls and kind of the shift in Oliette's worldview.
I don't know that yet, or if ever. And otherwise, I would probably tell him everything, glossing over most things, but I will spend a lot of time telling him about Paru looking for the Baba Yaga.
Okay.
And I will spend a lot of time talking to him about the Queen of the Word specifically. Like, I'll mention all the queens,
but the Queen of the Word is specific.
It's who has been taking care of me this whole time, and kind of just highlighting that person.
A mistress of language and knowledge and storytelling.
Real into her for sure.
Yeah. So,
and I'm going to tell him about Sweater Daddy.
Okay. Yeah.
Less emphasis on the flirtation, more emphasis on the fact that this is
being an expert of like
studious, and he might show up here. By the way, I don't know yet.
Looking into the sort of the chaos of the chaos magic that was being suppressed by the Mechanist people. Sure. All right. So Uncle Eb listens attentively. Asks only a couple of questions. Isn't really sure what to ask quite. But a couple of like quick clarifications. There is a point where when you're mentioning things like the Baba Yaga and Kiel, you find him kind of reaching into his pocket and pulling out a little book that he has, and he starts making some notes. It's where he kind of reminds it. It's his Post-its. He makes notes about what to look up and what to remember to go think about. And so yeah, you're for the viewers at home, Uncle Eb is a tiefling, sort of middle-aged looking. What does he look like again?
Excuse me. So Uncle Eb, hold on, let me grab my notes super quick. Uncle Eb is very lithe in frame, a lighter cerulean tone to his skin, as opposed to Oliette's very dark, kind of midnight blue, navy, and has short ash blonde hair that is, it always looks like he combed it very intentionally in the morning, but over the course of the day, like, it just gets disheveled and he doesn't notice. Keeps small spectacles on a chain. Always wears like a vest and a pocket square, even though he never goes anywhere. But we have the same silver eyes.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm.
So Ebb listens, and when you feel like you're kind of done with the story, he kind of leans back in his chair a bit. That is significantly different than what I was expecting your time to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it puts a new spin on the idea of a book report. That's certainly true.
And he sort of takes a moment to sort of sips his tea a little bit. And then he reaches for your hand. I'm so sorry.
For what? I've switched back to common at this point.
Sure. For sending you there, that place. I did not know.
Oh, it was so
It's
long. Well, it wasn't so long ago, but it was so long ago. I think it's okay.
It does not seem so very long for me. I apologize if I'm overcome. He's not. He doesn't seem overcome. He just sort of. It's a lot of external emotion for him. It does seem that you had quite the adventure because of it, though. Not to say that makes up for it.
I wouldn't dwell on it. Besides, I never would have met my friends if you hadn't sent me there. So
I suppose. I suppose I am glad for that. You all seem very interesting as well.
you have no idea.
Thank
don't.
you.
Wait,
I've been called much worse.
Same.
I mean, that's probably true. But Aliette, is that why you said you didn't know why you were at the center when you were there the first day?
Really add up. I thought I was just going to like a new boarding school. Like I thought. I don't know. It wasn't at all what I expected. The square food and the jumpsuits and that wasn't at all what I
No
thought it was
carpentry.
going to be. Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen you guys eat. I don't know that I necessarily consider what they were serving everybody food.
No.
It was more like squishy building blocks.
That's
No.
pretty rough.
We, and he kind of glances at Oliet, we were led to believe that it was a place where Oliet could thrive, a place where she could perhaps find. And he sort of fades off a little bit and kind of shakes it off. You're back, and I'm glad.
If you don't mind, sir, who was it who gave you that kind of information?
There were consultants from the Mechanist Authority. I did my best with giving my niece a place to be herself and to have a good life. But there's only so much that I can provide, and I thought perhaps I could seek help with providing her more opportunities for success in life. And I took the wrong advice.
Well, she's been real successful, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I see that.
That's true.
So in a way, it actually worked out quite well. For not in the way that was intended, I'm sure, but all things considered.
Just kind of quietly watching you all yet. Almost like he's trying to decide if what they're saying is true, that it was for the best and that you ended up better for it.
I will turn back to him and squeeze his hand. And Infernal, I will just say, you did what you thought was best. Everything's all right now.
I will try to take your word for it.
Anyway, it's been a long day. Perhaps we could retire. I think all of us could use the rest.
He switches to common. You may all stay here if you wish. I have a few rooms and a couch. Your room is your own, of course. I have a few things to attend to close up for the night, if you'll excuse me. But, niece, you know where things are. And you know where to find me if you need me.
Yeah, don't spend too long. You should go to bed eventually. Eventually.
Has a little knowing smirk on his face, like that is a speech he has received many times. And he stands up, and before he leaves, he walks over to Joliet and kind of like squeezes your shoulder and plants a little kiss on the top of your head. And just kind of pats your shoulder. Pleasant evening to you all.
Thank
Mighty
you for
obliged
letting
for
us
the tea.
stay.
Just nods at all of the different thanks he just received. And just quietly exits. Sort of Villain shifts over a little bit, and Ebb nods to him in thanks, and Villain just kind of gives a really, really tiny nod. Goes back to leaning on the wall.
Well, we should probably get some sleep. And then tomorrow, I promise, Uncle Eb is already looking for the things we've been talking about. So maybe he'll have come up with something about the Baba Yaga or the Queens of the Fae. He thinks better by himself, so we should just wait till the morning.
Should we have asked him about the archive? Is there a name?
Yeah, that's a good question. Did you mention the archive?
I definitely would have told him that
Okay,
we need that information as much as he can direct us.
Gotcha. Okay, good. Now I know what to. Now I know the info dump. Thank you. Okay. Villain kind of stays on the wall. So we just find a place to crash. I can take the couch.
Yeah, couch here. There's a couple rooms upstairs.
It probably makes more sense for me to take the couch since I don't really have to sleep as much, so you guys should take the beds.
Okay.
Also, I'm shorter, so I can fit.
I mean, there's that. Well, I don't mind bunking on the floor or bunking with the boys if there's not enough room. So, whatevs. I just used Paro's little girl voice. Whoops-a-doodles.
It's fine. There's an awkwardness to all of this. Maybe she slips into it a little bit, like, "Oh, this is great," like kind of a strained, stressed voice.
Everything's fine.
Nothing's wrong at all. Nope.
Yeah. Not at
So
all.
I imagine that Uncle Eb has a room. I would have had a room, and then maybe a spare guest room. So I know of
Sure.
3 beds,
And then the couch.
and then the couch. So
And there's obviously either beds can be shared, a floor can be slept on with some blankets and a pillow.
Right.
You guys can figure it out. It's not a big deal.
the couch is big enough that Paru and Beza could probably both fit on it.
Okay.
There's
Well,
a
that-
single bed in the guest room that Villain could take.
Okay.
Harlan, you can have my room, and I will sleep in Uncle Eb's room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure that works. Yeah, because you know he won't be up. He'll be up all night, or he'll fall asleep in
Yeah,
the-
exactly.
He definitely
He's
has
probably
a
comfy
nice,
chair.
There's
got a
there's
big-
definitely a big armchair down there.
big comfy chair that is honestly probably more comfortable than a few of the beds. And
I don't know that I want to leave Elaine alone.
Yeah.
You can sleep
That's
with Villain
actually
if you want.
out
I'll
of
sleep with
character. That's
Blaine.
actually partly why Beza wanted to sleep downstairs on the couch.
so
'cause
that
then she
Keep an
came
eye
in
on
the
the exit.
bold of you to assume that he would leave from the bottom.
I know. There's alternatives.
So, well, it's fine. Villain doesn't really make any expression of preference, though. I mean, Oliet, as soon as you just say use the guest room, he just starts heading upstairs. Doesn't really say anything. Grabs the railing with his remaining hand and heads upstairs. Just quiet. Tucker heads upstairs, I guess.
Yeah. Paro will give Oliet a quick hug. That didn't seem to go too bad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
He seems pretty nice, I must say.
Mm-hmm.
Does.
Yeah. He is.
Damn good cup of tea too.
I mean,
He's
in
a
a
terrible
bookshop.
cook, but the tea is
Mm.
where it's at.
Only the best dyer, honey.
I mean, it's not like you have to, do much more than just boil water and put it over leaves, right? It's just,
I mean, technically, sort of, if you
Haru
want to.
looks horrified at that statement.
There's a whole process. It depends on the kind of tea. You can burn the leaves if you're not careful. Like, it's a whole thing.
there's more than one kind of tea.
You need
All right,
to
even
hang
I
out
can
with me more.
I thought it was just I thought it was just hot or cold, and that's the only thing that affected the flavor.
You know what?
Okay, well,
Oh my god.
it's the most
Oh
Philistine.
yeah, he gets only just like 2% less attractive. That's all.
The problem is that Tessa knows how particular Kyle is about his tea, and like my brain is imploding at the moment.
You're just like pod person.
Who took
What did you do to
from?
Kyle?
What did you do to Kyle?
So what ends up being the sleeping accommodations? Villain's gonna go into the guest room.
I will bunk down in the guest room with Elaine.
Harlan takes Oliette's.
Sure,
That's
based on the
brave.
suggestion.
That's brave. Oliette be like, no, please take my childhood bedroom and go see, like, or was it a move?
Well, there's
Honestly,
not anything
how
too
do you-
terribly interesting in there because I was 12 when we left.
Oh no!
Hey, you
It
might
seems to me that is incredibly insightful. What did
You might have the
12-year-old
Rockstar
Oliette have in her room?
So my room would be, gosh, my room would be, for the most part, fairly no nonsense. Very simple furniture, probably everything done in very neutral colors, whites off beige, like beige and eggshell or whatever. So not colorful, not frivolous at all. And there's probably still a bookshelf in there with things that, like my favorite books that I never took back downstairs. It depends on how much Harlan would dig around. I don't imagine very much, but for the most part, for all intents and purposes, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I would say maybe only what he could just visually observe.
And
If he
if
digs
there's
drawers.
if there's like a closet or like a wardrobe or anything like that, I think that'd be the extent of what he would dig into, just as a place to like hang his pack for and like put his shovel for the evening. Just like not
She still had tutus. Oh.
So yeah, there'd be a wardrobe, I think, and it's gonna be very like, again, no nonsense, very similar to like Uncle Eb's vibe. Simple shirts, mostly pants, but some like long pleated skirts.
You get the sense that despite whatever sort of attitude Oliette developed, she did sort of come into her own in the book, for better or worse. She definitely felt at least more free to express herself. All right. Paru, you head into the guest room and you find Verlaine, not in Tucker's face. Just sort of sitting on the bed.
Hey, bud.
Kind of fiddling a little bit with the bandage.
Are you hurting? Do you need me to take a look at it?
On what scale are we measuring?
Are you well, let's break it down. Physical pain, 1 to 10. How we doing?
6.
Okay. And is that something like a cure wounds or something could take the edge off of, or no?
You could also just use a medicine check, and I'm sure you've got some stuff on you.
Yeah, okay, so then that's what she'll do.
That'd probably be easier. It's not so much hit points, it's just general achiness and discomfort.
Yeah, then she'll open up her pack and get some herbs out and try and do some healing that way. Do you want me to roll a medicine check for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Shoulder says no thank you to that, but that is a 22.
Yeah. You're you help redress the bandages. Sort of replace them. It's like, still a pretty fresh wound. Probably important to work on.
Yeah, so she'll
I think this is for us. Yeah.
Oh. My back?
Yay!
Yay, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, that was weird.
I thought
Sorry.
the guy froze. I don't know.
Yeah, I just realized my light's really low. So let me fix that. Okay. So she'll bandage him up, rebandage and double check. Maybe use a little bit of some herbs that have a bit of a pain numbing kind of property to them. And then once that's done, she'll kind of sit back on her heels and she'll look at him and go, okay, step 2. Mental emotional pain. Scale of 1 to 10. How are we doing?
You don't have enough numbers.
That's what I thought. Do we want to talk? Do you want to sleep?
On a scale of 1 to 10, negative 55.
Oh, okay.
But I am, assuming I'm going to get talked at anyway. So,
If you don't want to talk, it's okay. And I won't talk at you or make you listen. I don't know what happened. I just came back and you were back and you're missing an arm and people seem upset and then
let's
Olia
not
hit
get
you.
dramatic.
And
Let's not get dramatic. I'm missing half an arm.
okay, well,
A
Cut
hand.
as low as you could.
Yeah. Half a forearm. And he's kind of staring at the bandage.
I'm sorry I wasn't here for you when you needed me.
I needed something. I don't know what it was, though. Maybe it's... actually, Ollie might have given it to me. And kind of looks at where the hand used to be. Felt good for a little while.
Having it cut off for the power.
Felt like I felt like being connected to something big, scary, untouchable. And it stopped feeling good. It just started hurting.
I can understand that.
He said there'd be things to fill in the holes. The little, empty parts. It was just like it's like filling a hole with sand on the ocean, just kind of, it's there for a little while, and then the wave comes in and just washes everything out. He's not going to stop.
No.
He's one big empty space, trying to drag everybody down with him. He drops your gaze, starts just staring out the window.
Do I remember what Valaine's favorite color is?
Not sure he ever said he had one.
Paro will kind of just gently lower the lights to kind of the way things were when he was with her at the in the circle.
Yeah.
And kind of give that nice, comforting blue purple glow.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, her goal is to make things feel a little less harsh, a little more homey.
He kind of glances up at the lights. He's still got a hell of a bedside manner, short stack.
I understand the wanting to feel like a part of something and feeling good when you find something that feels big and untouchable, and this whole Baba Yaga thing, I can get how that would have. I get the connection. I get that desire. I understand it. I'm sorry things got rough, but for what it's worth, I'm glad you're here.
Thanks.
And if you and I both know that he's not going to stop and he's a big empty space, then maybe working together to stop that makes us part of something big on the other side. I mean, even the tiniest seed is part of the whole field, right?
Yeah.
Come on, you need some sleep.
Okay. Take the bed, please.
How about we both
I
take
have
the
been-
bed?
Okay, fine.
I'll be the big spoon.
Fucking hell. That's him, by the way. That's not me.
I
That's
know.
him.
And she cracks it. Good. I got you to laugh and smile. That worked. Get some rest.
Asshole.
Usually.
He just kind of doesn't change or anything. He just scoots full clothes, just scoots under the blanket and stares out the window more. He does leave room on the bed.
She climbs in and just throws an arm over him. You're safe. You can sleep now.
He doesn't say anything.
She just kind of lets the lights dim just enough.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that if I chuckle on camera, it's Kyle's fault. So, Beza, you're on the couch, and you hear, it's you rest though, like you go into like a state, don't you? But go
Yeah,
ahead.
we discussed that I probably have some sort of like a computer sleep mode.
Yeah, it's actually, I would say it's probably more akin to elves not having to sleep. They can, but in your case, it's probably more like that sort of meditative state where you're slightly conscious of your surroundings, but you can physically rest. You can lay down and close your eyes.
Standby mode.
Yeah. So as you're resting as well, you hear a tiny clatter at the stove. Just for kind of a crap sort of reaction, nonverbal. Glance up. Oh, go ahead.
Mr. Webb, are you all right?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you.
It's fine. I don't really need sleep the same way.
Yes, you're not You are not organic.
Nope.
Would it be inappropriate to ask what materials you are constructed from?
No, it's fine. So most of me is made out of something called air shale. I don't know a lot about it because it wasn't really something that was in the book. I was only like
Eb slowly pulls out his little book from his pocket and makes a note.
She saw him scribbling notes earlier, so she's not worried about it. I know how to spell it. It's EIRSHALE.
Thank you.
Yep. Oliette taught me how to read, so I know how to spell that one. But
He glances up at that, though. She did.
Yes. Well, I was only, to be fair to the person who made me, I was only like 36 hours old when we ended up in the book, technically. But mostly air shale, and then parts of me, most of the joints and things have a lot of metal in them. I don't know exactly which kind. I'm pretty sure these, and she flips out one of the swords, are made out of some kind of steel, but I'm not 100%.
That is impressive architecture.
Yeah. Well, I know I was designed to be a bodyguard. He thought I was going to be more like an automaton. I guess Oliette could probably help me fill in some of the details for you because she's read more books than me. But there's some old gnomish tomes about some sort of creations that were made out of the air shale. And the books he read, I think maybe he translated some of it wrong because he was expecting me to be just a magically enhanced automaton to be a bodyguard. And he got me. I wasn't exactly part of the plan. Yep. So
Sentient and sapient golem.
Yep. And you can imagine how I ended up at the Reacclimation Center.
Oh, yes. I imagine your existence sort of flew in the face of, by your very nature of being not following the script.
Yep.
I could imagine.
I know he used the term Goa. I don't know if that was the gnomish term or if that was the term that was in the books to refer to the people that were made out of air shale like me. I don't know all the details because, to be perfectly honest, except for the 24 hours I spent with him after he activated me, I haven't really talked to him since then, since we were, preoccupied.
Yes. Yes. Beza, roll me an insight check.
Okay.
Actually, no, you're not actively doing this. Let me check your let me check your passive. It's probably more useful here. You get the sense that you're talking a lot. And that Ebb is sort of like he's kind of retreating a little bit mentally from all the detail, but he is making some notes.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. So air shale and some kinds of metal. And, obviously he carved me to look like a gnome.
Yes, I see that. In an effort to find something perhaps less uncanny, something more relatable.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the gnome that made me, he works for the metronome system, some sort of creator for them, I guess, but he was very nice to me for the 24 hours I was there. His ex-wife, on the other hand, I mean, let's just say she's someone that I wouldn't mind, what's that term I've heard? Paru and Aliette using bitch slap.
Aliette said that.
I think she was really mad at the time. Like, Faze is backtracking.
Something I shouldn't have said. Crap.
She was really mad at the time. You have to keep in mind we've been in some fights, like life or death things. So, you know, it came out in the heat of the moment. Normally, she's much more eloquent than that. Faze is like, fuck.
You get the sense, though, that Uncle Eb is seeking a exit. Well, I appreciate your insight and your story. Thank you. I will, perhaps I can find some information for you.
That'd be great if you can find anything.
I do have quite a history collection.
Oh, thank you for doing some research for us. We really appreciate it. We had a lot of training, but some of the information that we need from this world was definitely lacking.
They do collect a lot of information for their, I hesitate to call it an archive. I would call it a repository. More of a warehouse than an actual library.
You mean the Modrons or the Queens?
The Modrons, the what they would have at their, well, I suppose the Reclamation Center may have it, but there were a number of other independent shops in the chronogram historically, but they have slowly been going out of business. Not much. I'm not. I don't regret not having much competition at this point, but I knew them. They had a passion for this work, and it is sad to see so much be collected and locked away.
Yeah, they've even got restricted sections.
That may be for the best, depending on what they have.
Yeah, I could see that.
If I am to add these to my list for this evening, I should leave you to your rest.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to keep you.
It's all right. Good night, Beza.
Good night. Thank you again for looking up the information for us.
It's what I do. I'm just targeting and attacking Chris right now. And he goes back into the bookshop. Aliette, do anything of note or anything when you go to sleep in your uncle's room?
Probably I would have deposited this giant shield I've been dragging around downstairs by the fireplace so that Beza can like keep an eye.
Sure.
Watch Villain and Paru go into one room. Watch Harlan go into the next one. Kind of cringe for a moment, trying to remember if there's anything weird that I left out. But Uncle Ed probably would have tidied it up. So
it's a little bit, maybe.
Probably fine. I'm sure that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go into Uncle Eb's room, which is just as no nonsense, I imagine. Instead of the softer neutrals, it's probably very, very minimalist. Maybe there's not really much of note in here. I think I would just dump my stuff and kind of just like sit down on the bed for a long moment and just try to, you know, you have those moments that are so surreal and you know that you're feeling this, but you still can't shake yourself out of it. It's kind of like that.
It's a lot of body.
Yeah. I think I would go to his bookshelf and look on the very top shelf, which I can now reach without having to stand on the chair. And he keeps like a row of journals across the top 2 rows of this bookshelf. And I think on the far left-hand side, there is a piece of canvas that is tucked between 2 journals.
Okay.
And I will just pull it down and sit, and for a long moment, probably as I recline back and lay down on the bed, I will look at this canvas, this portrait painted with some degree of talent, although I have no way of vouching for how accurate it is. This picture of a tiefling woman with short ash blonde hair, a very practical bob, very dark navy blue skin, sitting at ease in an armchair, with her hand resting on her very pregnant belly, and next to her stands a tiefling man, paler in skin tone, much younger looking, with his hand like in his vest, a little too formal, and just stare at it for a while before I go to sleep. Oh, I think you might be muted.
I was click-clacking on my typewriter computer and trying to make notes. Am I reading correctly that the man in the portrait is Uncle Eb?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so yeah, you spent a little time studying this portrait that you haven't seen in so long. Little pieces are really distinctly familiar, but you're also kind of looking at it with such distance between you and the last time you saw it. There's a lot of detail you either forgot or hadn't noticed. Still a lot of blanks to fill in, though, yourself. You don't know enough about any of it. Okay. And then eventually you get to sleep somehow, even just a little bit. Did you do anything with the book, or you just go to sleep?
Honestly, no. I don't think. I think I just need to close my eyes and let my brain start to do the work while I'm sleeping, because I'm worn out.
That's fine. I gotcha. So you head to sleep. A lot of you fall asleep. The next morning comes by, and you all got decent enough sleep. You all wake up to a ungodly, like, gong sort of bell noise echoing from outside the building. It's only at you. This is something you did not miss. The schedule waits for no one. It's a clock tower near the center of the district. It goes off at the exact same time as any other clock tower in the district. Basically just indicating a shift change. It's now time for morning activities to begin. It's just kind of a wake-up call for everybody. And you all are like those of you who are not from a chronogram, which is pretty much everyone but Oliette, maybe shudder awake or startle awake at that.
What the
Harlan,
hell is that? Is that a siren? Are we under attack?
no, we're being expected to wake up. You just hear the tinkling of a spoon in a teacup as Ebb is sitting at the breakfast table.
Is that every morning?
Yes, and then in 8 hours it will happen again. And then the next 8 hours.
Interesting.
It's probably a different. I have to decide how they do time, because I'm sure they come up with some ridiculously, evenly spaced time style that is not at all. They probably use 24-hour, to be honest, but
for sure.
Yeah, maybe with some tweaks. But for now, we'll just we'll use regular time for simplicity's sake. Let's not overcomplicate things. Harland, I mean, you're used to like that frickin' basilisk waking you up in the morning on the farm, a big rooster monster. So you mean you're not completely unfamiliar with abrupt, unwelcomed wake up calls. But yeah, just like boom. You wake up and you're still in a 12-year-old's bedroom. Like, Paru, you wake up to this terrible noise.
Oh, dear gods.
Should have learned how to block your ears out. And you see that Valaine's got his head under the pillow already. He anticipated this.
What is that monstrosity?
It's the great mighty bell.
I don't like it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Does that make me have to get up?
What was that?
If you liked it, you wouldn't get out of bed.
Exactly.
As soon as I hear it, I'm going to jump up and slide that portrait back where it was.
Yeah, your uncle did not come in. And Valaine just sort of. Well, actually, he reaches for his head and hits the bandage. That's gonna take a while.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, bud.
Just stop apologizing.
No, I'll fix it at some point. I promise. All right.
Yeah. He gets up. And you all kind of meander awake and I assume head downstairs.
Okay, Oli, can I have a minute of your time? Just to say it.
Or do you want
I just
tea first, or
no, it's I just wanted to apologize because I don't think your sheets will ever be the same. I tried to clean them out, but it just left everywhere. I'm sorry. It's just gonna be blue fur forever.
Oh my god.
He sheds. Oh my god. It's like a Muppet dog. Slept in your bed.
it's
Oh my god.
fine.
I did try to press the digitate most of it out, and it made it bluer.
Okay, well, let's
Haru and Valaine slide by as you guys are talking.
Ara looks up at Valaine like, I have no idea what they're talking. Tea?
it's fine. We just won't tell Uncle Eb. It'll be fine.
Just put the duvet up.
Yeah.
It's not like anyone's gonna use the room.
Well, Dad always had blue flannel, so it wasn't something that I ever thought about.
Oh, that's smart. Now that I think about it, that makes a lot of sense.
Sorry, I broke Angela.
I hate you so much. Damn it. Okay.
Oh my god.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So you all head downstairs. Villain doesn't change into Tucker. He just ended up downstairs as he's sort of like rubbing his eye. He walks downstairs and Ebb looks up. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There are and he goes into like an icebox, and there are trays of like pre-prepared food.
Of course.
He can't cook. You said he couldn't cook, so it seems to reason Oliet that either he orders out or you pre-made meals for him. So it seems to me that the group is going to get a home-cooked meal from Oliet, even though Oliet hasn't made it for, what, 15 years? 10 years?
Oh my god.
Amazing. And he pulls out a few of these trays. They're on the top shelf, so they're breakfast. And
oh my god, I'm delighted.
And so he opens them up and basically just pops them into the oven and the stove and continues tending to tea. And he offers everyone a cup if they want it. He's actually got just like a full tea kettle.
Oh, yes, please.
I'm also keeping an eye on the oven because I know he's going to forget about them and wander off and do something else. So,
just as you say that, I did a little bit of looking into your queries from before. And he sits down with his little book. Absolutely, he's going to forget. Oh, yeah. So he's already forgotten. And he kind of flips through the pages a little bit. What would you like me to start with? I don't know the priority of what you're looking for information on. I found a little bit.
I guess the Queen's first in the archive.
Oh, all right. And he flips through the book. The Feywild is a realm often considered a mirror to the prime material, though it is primarily ruled by different physics, different magical principles than you would find often in the prime material plane. There are many first and second hand accounts of visiting the Feywild, often ending in perilous experiences. It can be a quite unforgiving place.
I have a couple cousins that didn't make it back intact.
Oh, that does coincide with my findings. Yes. As for the queens, there have been a number of monarchs in charge of the Feywild previously, and it seems that though it does take a bit of time, there is a transition of sorts between I suppose you would call it the organizational structure of how it is ruled, or the cataloging system by which it is kept. In the past, there are some older historical accounts, or perhaps there is a bit of disambiguation there. There are some stories historically derived from Fey denizens that give you some history of the Feywild. There have been courts based on the seasons before, so there are winter and summer courts, and autumn and spring vassals. Then later, after that, there have been monarchies set up in the past regarding times of day, though that does seem to remain to some degree, as that is how you might find yourself needing to navigate dusk and dawn and twilight and daybreak. Those were once courts.
That sounds familiar.
Yes, you did say that your you encountered a number of Fae in your travels. He kind of flips through pages. There have also been Fae. As for queens, multiple. There does seem to be some precedent for there being queendoms. As for queensdoms, I don't have much by recent standards what could be considered a current event, but you mentioned the Queen of the Word would be a sort of a deified monarch, worshipped and placed under domain of knowledge and secret keeping and storytelling and creativity. Those are often domains associated with such a figure. I don't believe I have any. You might be able to. Some of my former colleagues had considerable first-hand account collections of things like planar travel. So the Feywild might be something that was more substantially shown in their records, but those would be things kept in, I assume, some of the Reacclimation Center repositories. Kind of, it gets a little look on his face. They're libraries, so-called. You mentioned archive. There was a myth I was able to find. It was a bit of a not verified source. I could not determine its origin, but I was able to find mention of an archive. The idea of often there are in divine belief structures, often gods are personified. They are figures. They are beings with a means to. And he kind of glances over at Beza with the intent to see something of ourselves in them, more relatable, like your gnomish appearance. Sometimes it is simply easier to communicate with mortals by taking on a form they can properly conceptualize. The archive appears to be a similar such deified figure, but a place, not a person. But there are worshippers. It is a place of mythic, of legend. It is not a place that I could give you an address. But it is, in what few sources I could find using that specific term, it seems to indicate that the archive is a resting place for lost knowledge things that are forgotten, things that have passed through memory. It is an afterlife for our understanding of the world. And some just say it's a very big library. But I don't know about that.
I think I know how to get there.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's a repository for forgotten knowledge, right? Well, all you got to do is put a book in my hand and tell me what the book is, and then I go to sleep, and I'll forget. And then got to take the book back to the archive because I forgot about it, right?
When it says forgotten knowledge, they mean culturally forgotten by the world. Languages
Shoot,
go
then
dead.
it's not.
Languages go extinct when there is no one left to speak them. Knowledge goes extinct when there is no one left to share it. The memory of lost civilizations and long dead gods. That sort of stuff. I wish I could have found more. It was quite a read.
and pulling our food out of the oven.
Oliette, I could provide you that book if you like.
Yes, I'll take it with us.
I have some sources already pulled for you on the cart. What else did you have me take a look at? Just flipping through.
I'll just kind of gesture to Paru.
Oh, right. The Baba Yaga. That I was able to find many notes on, all of them conflicting.
Well, that
occasionally
seems
quite
about
substantially. There are some, specifically the origin of the phrase. The etymology of it was interesting. There were several options. Baba coming from a term for grandmother or mother. There's some there's some confusion there. Could also specifically mean an unwed elder woman of a community. And Yaga Yaga had several terms. It could be an offshoot of a Sylvan phrase meaning evil. Could also mean protector. Could also just be a name, if you're going to get simple with it. There's also, I believe, one very. I am uncertain as to the reliability of this one particular record. Insists that it is a shortening of a term that meant bone eater.
Interesting. Anything in any of your research? Did anything mention anything like something about the Nacosta, or where one might find the Baba Yaga?
I did not know to look in that.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. That sounds perhaps does not sound Sylvan. I could think about the origin of that. And he starts rattling off slight like etymology concepts, like he's sort of like thinking about it a little bit to himself. That seems like that is probably a term coined outside of the Fae. One would. What is a Nacosta?
So, my extremely limited understanding of a Nacosta, as this is very new information to me, is a member of the bloodline of the Baba Yaga. Not taking the form of the folk that they were born to. Excuse me, still taking the form of the folk that they were born to, but none of the inherent traits of those people, such as, for instance, a goblin who cannot see in the dark, or a
There, and he looks through the book again, and he flips a little bit through the little book. There was some record of offspring of the Baba Yaga. And he reaches over, grabs a different book. It spoke of hiding in plain sight. It says that there was a time when the Fae were unwelcome in the prime material. They are mostly just considered legend or feared now. But there was a point where in an effort to propagate her bloodline, she hid it, among others. That occasionally, through some... I will circle back. That requires context. The Baba Yaga is at least one consistency I was able to find of the Baba Yaga. Said that she, or it, sometimes, it depends on the translation, was a figure associated with primal power or divination, sometimes secret keeping, not unlike your Queen of the Word, but not for safekeeping, for trade, for power. Names, histories, things that perhaps would be of some value to her. The word, the reference to bone eater, actually, I cross-referenced it with a different history, and it seemed to indicate, instead of a bone eater, it meant one who lives among bones. There was at least one record of the domicile of the Baba Yaga where you could find her. And it seemed that it was never often in the same place. That it seems to move often in the Fae itself, but sometimes on other planes. Not always simply in the wilds of Fae. It does not indicate how such a thing moves, a home or something. But I did see one that there was a very odd translation. I will have to check it again. It was a word for chicken, and I didn't know why.
Tessa is absolutely delighted by this, by the way. I am so excited about this.
Angela did some research.
I noticed. I'm very like, ooh, Angela, yay! Well, this is fascinating.
She has left quite the swath of impression across time and history. It is not uncommon to find information about this Baba Yaga. It's just, as I said, all conflicting. I have a theory.
I am all ears.
What if none of the accounts are wrong? What if instead the Baba Yaga is changeable, and therefore she has been in all manner of forms and has been all manner of states of being, all manner of mood. I mean, the Fae are changeable. They are famously so.
Indeed. And if one of her tricks, for lack of a better term, is the mutability of her bloodline to encompass among every folk in the plains, it would make sense that she herself could be mutable in that faction.
Olia, you watch Ebb completely laser focus on Paru right then. Like, that is he was incredibly engaged just then. that is a very good connection. Yes.
So
He sort of
I think
got a little more energy.
I think you hit the nail on the head. If there is so much information about one person and all of it is conflicting, then why and if it's somebody who is fey and mutable and never changing, then why couldn't it all be correct?
Alternative, not to play too much of a fiend's advocate here, but alternatively, one whose interests lie in secrets might find some benefit to manipulating records of their existence.
Exactly.
So either she is never the same, or she has made a point to not be, as you said, nailed down. Excellent historical camouflage, if you will.
Indeed. And if she is indeed someone who enjoys secrets and knowledge, not necessarily for the protection and storage of that information, perhaps the Baba Yaga might be an interesting person to try and speak with regarding the location of this archive. If she is someone who enjoys hidden and forbidden and forgotten knowledges,
seems a place like that would be of great import for a being like that.
Indeed. And if they both exist on the Fate plane, potentially.
Wow, I think we've just discovered that Paru and Ebb are drift compatible.
I think so.
But only when talking about Baba Yaga. They literally just both went at the same time. Aliette, there is a small voice in the back of your head that it's that ugly rearing up of Faye Aliette thinking, what a couple of fucking nerds. But you squash it very quickly because you love your Uncle Ed and you love Pyro, but it's still there.
Jesus, get a room in the stacks, jeez.
Paru would be so confused by that statement. She'd be like, "What?"
I will also say that there is a tiny, he's sitting at the table. There is a tiny little similar smirk from Villain that's kind of like, wow, fucking nerds. Just a little. He's trying to hide it, but you can kind of see. Uncle Ebb has gotten a little lost in the weeds with Paru going back and forth on this idea. And eventually he pops out of it a little bit. It takes a bit of nudging.
I want to reach over and just very gently put my hand on top of the book and just push the food towards him.
Yes, we can discuss. We have time.
Of course.
If we find the Baba Yaga, we should be able to find the archive, is what I'm getting from that.
Potentially.
Well, I mean, that's assuming we can get her to tell us. If she likes keeping secrets, she might have to. Well, she might ask us for something.
But would she be
I
willing
mean,
to talk to a member of her bloodline?
we kind
That
of
might
got in
aid you
good.
in locating, I would think.
You think I might be able to locate her?
Perhaps with some sort of maybe not you yourself, but pardon, I don't know if this is rude, but using you as a sort of conduit, a lightning rod. And when you locate a person or scry on them, as far as my research has shown you, it is best practice to possess an object belonging to that person, not to call you an object. Haru, I apologize.
No, that's an absolutely fascinating theory, and I'm actually completely on board with it.
You're on board with calling yourself an object?
No, I'm on board with being a lightning rod to the Baba Yaga, is what I'm on board with.
I am. What have I done?
I feel like at some point, Beza just leans over to Harland. Are you confused like I'm confused?
Yeah, see, they're speaking common. So I get the words, but it's how that they are connected in the sentences that they are connecting them that leads me to think that there is something deeper here that I am not quite picking
There's
up.
a deeper meaning here. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is yet.
Uncle Eb lost me at the word propagate.
Like 20 minutes ago? Amazing.
As a druid, I do understand propagation. And a farmer.
Honestly, Harlan should too. He's a freaking farmer.
Yeah.
He knows that word. It's probably the biggest $3 word he knows. So anyway, with a few more almost paternal nudgings from Oliet, Uncle Eb does continue to eat. You all kind of enjoy. I mean, it's good food. It's like eggs, and I was trying to think what reheats easy.
French toast
Probably
bake.
Probably some kind of cured, like a bacon or something like that.
I was gonna say there's maybe a little French toast bake, but like it's mostly like, okay, you're gonna get a fully balanced meal. I'm not gonna give you sugar and carbs. Yeah, so little gold coin-sized pieces of meat, and there's got to be a vegetable in there because he doesn't eat enough vegetables.
Potato.
And what was that?
Potato. It's a vegetable.
No,
Probably some like spinach and peppers and stuff.
something green.
Like,
You have to eat
like
something
sweet
green.
potato and carrot pancakes. So that's how I sneak it. It's like a child. You have
Oh
to
my
try
god!
it.
Yep. Yeah.
You won't eat it.
Mm-hmm. You have to sneak the spinach into brownies because he's suspicious of green things. Oh my god. I do not like this idea that they raised each other.
I love this idea. What do you mean?
It just makes me very concerned. Like, oh, like, I'm really glad there was no mechanist social worker.
I mean, he probably raised her initially, but then at a certain point when she could read
Eventually the scale shifted.
And nutritional information, she was like, wait a minute.
Wait, we're not supposed to eat the same thing every day? Oh my god, what are you doing?
This fascinating thing about nutrients, you don't get them all from tea.
Are you sure?
Tea and cookies, not all the food groups, turns out.
Hold on. I feel specifically called out. Me, Tessa,
No, I'm
as a
just
person,
correcting-
that tea and
Sorry,
cookies are not my entire sustenance in a day. What are you talking about?
And cheese, Tessa.
Yeah, there we go. Tea, cookies,
No,
and
in
cheese.
real
My
life,
three
that's
food
valid.
groups.
Dairy definitely gets thrown in there somewhere. And actually, Beza, he does by like the end of breakfast, return to his book, and let you know. I did find not a lot of historic record of the Goa, but the Airshell, however, did bring up some interesting information. Specifically your spelling. I'm very glad you spelled it for me. I found perhaps an origin of the material. Well, an origin of the term for the material. There's a place again. Your queries all seem to revolve around legends, which is interesting. There can be a grain of truth in those sort of stories. Often are. A little elaborate, like, for instance, the idea that this city of air apparently flew, according to some records. I have some concerns about that. The verisimilitude of that claim. But it did seem that there was a city eventually lost to record, which, if you do find your archive, perhaps there is more to be found there. But a place that made... it did not seem that your people, I suppose, your kind, it does not seem that they founded this city. They were perhaps descended from automatons created by these people. There is not much information of the City of Air. They were very insular. Historically, I mean. Legends have a few bits and pieces, something about a great calamity. Trying to explain away the city's disappearance, I assume some sort of political takeover or war perhaps cleared the record. There are the unfortunate numbers of stories of war destroying libraries and repositories of record. It could be that the City of Air was just isolated, perhaps famous for these automatons, and then when they were wiped out, all record was lost, except for what seems to be the little bits and pieces that your maker found.
Yeah, I don't know a lot, like I told you last night. I do know that he had a lot of trouble getting a hold of the airshell.
Oh, yes. Airshell itself is interesting. It's a very esoteric subject. Only those deep in arcane studies tend to know anything about it. It's a wholly naturally transmutable substance. Sorry. It
What does that mean?
it can be made to be other things, or more specifically, it can be made to hold and possess other properties. Through the proper transmutation rituals, one could create airshell. You could take... He looks around. He finds some sugar cubes on the table. He grabs a few of them and he puts them on the table. And he goes, if all 4 of these were airshell of the same size and density and mass, you could cast spells on each of them with different intention and different properties, and make this one light enough to float in water or air. This one could pin a whole person down with its weight. This one could conduct electricity. And this one could perhaps hold a spell you've cast for future use, made into a magic item, essentially. It could do all sorts of things. It is...
Yes. Why does that make that special? Because can't you use like gemstones or pearls or stuff like that to make those types of items?
Well, that leads me to your friend Beza. The Goa, or these automatons, were made of other materials and airshell. What the airshell was able to do was change the metals as well. Things it touches can be changed. You can make something out of airshell and out of, say, steel. And both substances could be light enough to float or strong enough to withstand tremendous pressure and magical energy. Allows you to make hybrid creations. It's a very fascinating subject. I will certainly be continuing my research on it. It is intriguing that airshell is considered so rare. If the myths again, these legends you find me to look at, the legends of airshell go back to origins. And you've probably heard that word before, capital O. It's a concept of like the making of the world,
like the creation story.
Yeah, what the creation story is that is very popular. That the he sort of chuckles a little. We are getting a little in the weeds of myth and legend here, but the story that the great celestial dragon laid an egg, and on the egg she created the world. Well, it seems to reason to me that a magic substance of, and he taps your arm with his book, of a slightly eggshell shade might be related to the primal materials that the world is made from. Eshel, if that is the connection one is to make, very rare and yet everywhere. Fascinating. I am very intrigued. It is probably just hard to access.
Well, that explains a lot about why he was so surprised. And why I'm not just an automaton.
With all due respect to your maker, he shouldn't have been surprised. It seems Airshell can do a many number of wondrous things.
Well, I know he knew it could process magic somehow, because that's why he wanted to use it. He thought it would make me more powerful. But I don't think he realized that maybe he translated wrong from his books.
Do you know what he was translating from?
He had 2 old books that had a lot of ancient gnomish in them. He didn't get a lot of time to tell me a whole lot before I got taken away by the authorities. I know that he had 2 different gnomish books that had 2 different old, really, really ancient gnomish dialects in them. And he managed to translate as much as possible, but clearly he didn't translate everything as well as he thought.
Well, I do have some colleagues who may have some of their old collections still. I can let you know if I find something else.
All right, thank you.
I am rather fond of puzzles, so you have come to the right person.
I mean, I've got a lot of parts like a puzzle.
He gives you a very polite but seemingly genuine chuff.
So I need a magic stone, a dragon egg shell.
Or both.
Or both.
Or just a rock that people have made very pretty stories about.
If you are eggshelled, then you're definitely stronger than eggshell, I will say, and that's no yoke.
Harlan.
He just became 4% less attractive.
I swear, your jokes are gonna scramble our brains.
Oh my god.
I'm
I'm gonna get up from the table. If you say that out loud, I just stand up. I'm fucking done.
I'm sorry, I won't do it again.
Oliette and Villain both get up at the same exact time
No.
because I swear to God I was about to have him get up.
No.
Sorry, did we fry you?
Nope. Just picking up the plates. I'm ignoring you. Nope. Nope. Nope.
You look like you could use some help. And he grabs one cup.
That tracks.
Well, he also
Oh, woof.
yeah, he tried. He was trying.
Okay.
Got all snarky about him. He picks up a cup. Oh no, actually, you know what? He gets 2 cups. He's able to like get them in his fingers. And he goes over the sink.
Don't be so hard-boiled, you guys. These are funny.
Just loudly turn the sink on. Full blast.
For a moment, Oliette, you hear Villain kind of mutter next to you. Maybe you should you second guessing that whole turning me in thing, because I might go.
Just give me the
that's
cups. Just
yeah. That's just kind of a little awkward.
Something I said.
Sorry, Harlan. I didn't mean to poach your jokes.
okay. Now I actually am
Get
logging off
out.
of the stream. I'm done.
Get
I'm done
out.
with all of you.
So I hope that the
Goodbye.
audience is okay with this, but I am rescinding a re-roll from their pool and taking it for myself.
Cole, look what you've done.
None more. I love it.
Oh, anyway. So,
Can I come back now?
you
Yeah,
can
you
come
can
back.
come back.
You're allowed. All right. So you have this breakfast. Uncle Eb, sort of says, as usual, breakfast was very good, Oliette. Thank you.
Wait, you cook those?
Yeah. Just a few days ago.
Sunday night meal prep.
Yeah.
Well, it sure is delicious. Thanks for sharing.
Very tasty. Thank you.
I didn't eat any, but it smelled good.
Okay.
It is. I'll probably be. I have a few things to do before the shop opens. But obviously, I understand if you need to move on, or if you are going to be. You of course can stay if you wish, as long as you need. You free reign of the house and the shop if you need.
In Infernal.
Mhm.
I don't know how long we'll stay. But there is one other thing that you could look into for us. There is, if you recall my mentioning, our pursuer,
Yes.
an entity, or an individual, I'm not sure, called the Lord of Tales. Quite dangerous. Not really sure where they came from or how to best them.
I can continue looking into it, of course.
Just in your spare time. No rush.
Of course.
Also, before the shop opens, you could Could you sleep for like 30 minutes? Just
That is what Wednesdays are for.
just pat him on the shoulder and probably
You get a little smirk. You get a little smirk from him, where he kind of knows that would get under your skin.
but I might actually go back to the living space.
Sure.
And on Wednesdays, we sleep.
Yes. All day.
Yeah.
Right. So you head back to where everybody else is, like the like kitchenette living area. It's like it's basically like a studio apartment kind of in the back.
Yeah.
The first story.
Yeah. I'll probably go back to wherever Beza was crashed out and just sit down.
Yeah. Because Beza got woken up by Ebb at the stove. So it's basically like there's a kitchenette set up, then a table, then the couch, then the stairs upstairs. That's basically how the room is set up, and then all the bedrooms are upstairs.
Oh, actually, you know what? I probably would go upstairs because I need to get my book. I need to get the book. So
true. Okay.
Probably upstairs, but
okay. Question for the other three who are there. If Verlaine were to head upstairs a few moments after her, would any of you stop him? Or follow him, I guess.
No, but I would be following him in probably as a mouse because Par's a nosy bitch.
Well, and also just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would stop him, but I do think Beza would be hovering really damn close to the bottom of those stairs.
Okay. Who has a passive insight of better than 17?
Ooh, that's real close. I have a 16. Damn.
Then none of you notice that he slips out.
That's fair.
Okay. At some point you will notice, Beza, like if you're like making a point to check on him every so often, but in the moment you don't notice. So yeah, go ahead. Whatever you're doing in the room. You just go up and get it, or you do anything else?
No. So I might take a little time to myself. I'll stay up there. And I think I'm just gonna pull the book out.
Okay. Is the door closed? You close the door behind yourself, or you leave it open? I mean, you know everybody in the house.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if, as a childhood rule, it was doors open or doors closed. I probably absentmindedly left it cracked, like it's mostly closed.
I feel like it might be a doors open policy, if only just in case he had to call to you from the shop, you could hear him.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with privacy. It was just about not having to like
come all the way up.
Being able to communicate with you from across the building.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you leave it cracked. So what are you doing with the book?
I'm gonna open it up. And I will probably write a pretty concise little note. Just saying that for now we're safe and we're looking into things. And to tell the Queen of the Trade that we might be able to restore her champion.
No, I'm totally not starting to keep track of everything that they communicate within the book, because I think that would be delightful to have an outline of everything they've said. But I totally am. New thing. New task. If anyone wants to go back and watch the previous 17 episodes and write down what they've said in the book, I'd be eternally grateful.
Most of it in my notes.
Oh, that's a good point. But I will. I would like to have an outline so we can kind of like refer back to, and I would even put like a couple sentences that's just like they talked about this, just so that there's a record. I think that would be really helpful. So a little while passes. You hear at the door frame, and and the door cracks a little bit, and you see Villain.
Hey.
Hi. Just everything good?
Yes. I guess.
Good. Just, trying to test the waters and see if I can say things without getting smacked.
Depends on what you say.
Hi.
I'll allow it.
Weirdly, at the slightly more authoritative tone, he kind of relaxes. Or it's like, oh, okay, there she is. And he kind of, may I step in?
It's not illegal.
It's not polite. He steps in. Sorry, just still getting my bearings.
I suppose that's fair.
His eyes kind of fall to the book you have open. You talking to her?
Yeah.
All good things about me, I'm sure.
Always.
Listen, I know you probably think tremendous amounts of shit about me right now. And it is all incredibly valid. If it's any, maybe not consolation, but maybe explanation. I didn't want to put your names in those things. I never did. By the end, he was kind of moving my hand. I'm sorry.
Do you hate us? Do you hate me for cutting it off?
No. I never hated you.
Well, I'm just gonna pat the bed next to me so they can sit.
It takes a second for them to react to it. Yeah. And he walks forward and he sits down next to you.
I don't hate you.
That's It's a revelation. I'd understand if you did.
I mean, to be fair, it would be justified, but I mean, you know that I loved you. It's okay if that was a joke to you, but you know that I did.
Yeah.
A lot's changed.
Yeah. There were just I never hated any of you, but I just kind of watched you all grow.
I mean, you acknowledge that you were invited too.
Just it's hard to see sometimes. Not that you didn't try. I mean, it's hard for me to see sometimes. And you watch him kind of like avoid your eyes, and you don't see what he's doing, but you kind of watch him wipe something out of his eye.
I will very politely keep my gaze averted and give them the space to clean their face.
Yeah, unfortunately, that eye patch is on the other side.
You know, it would have been a lot easier to kill you.
Less complicated, too.
Well, for you.
Yeah. I mean, Paro wouldn't have had to have been Big Spoon last night either if that had happened. So
I'm sorry, hold on.
I lost. You remember I lost my hand, right? You're gonna like.
No. It's always
You mean-
been like you do you, I do me. Like it's always been that. That's whatever. Hey, whatever.
Friend cuddle.
Sure.
I'm allowed. I lost my hand. I think I'm allowed.
No judgment.
Uh-huh.
Para's very snuggly. I get it.
Yeah, is Harlan? He kind of smirks. He's not angry. He just.
I think that Aliad's skin tone is probably a little too deep for a proper blush.
Uh-huh.
But I'm sure Verlaine knows well enough.
She's got tells. I'm sure she has tells.
Like her face becomes a little too stony.
I mean, I've seen the big guy with his shirt off. He's got like just the right amount of paunch. I bet he's real fun to hug. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Look, I honestly don't have the energy to keep beating you up. You've always been way better at that than I have.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss the devastating honesty.
You know, you had a little bit to do with this. Not the better parts, obviously, but credit where credit is due. I couldn't have. We would never have made it out of that cave alive if it weren't for you. So, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I have missed you all for a really long time.
We missed you too. I will stand and very slowly, I'm not trying to spook them, I will, with one hand, take a thumb and brush it under their eye to kind of dry their face. You can come home, but you have to stop running.
You watch him just kind of look down and then just kind of lean forward and just like rest his head on your stomach. Just kind of just for a bit.
Kind of comb their hair a little bit. Now, please clean yourself up. We have things to do.
Fuck you. Yeah. And he kind of squeezes your hand a little bit and sits back up. I'm sorry that I was a piece of shit. Am a piece of shit? I don't know.
Probably not all the way out of past tense yet, but
Yeah.
you know, it happens.
He stands up. Yeah, I'll go clean up. Huh. And he kind of like shifts a little bit. Do I still look like shit? And he turned into nondescript person. Just human man number 2. Just and for like a little glimpse of a moment, he doesn't have like bags under his eyes. He's not like red. Still has kind of a, it's weird where his eye should be. There's just kind of this it's not quite pixelation, but it's a slight blur where there's like a gap in his concept of where that should be. But then the red starts kind of bleeding through.
As soon as they shift, I will put a hand on their arm.
Which one?
The bad one.
Okay.
Or the injured one, I should say.
Yeah, there you go. It's not bad because Harlan left the bad one.
That's true. The bad hand is long buried. Hopefully, will stay long buried. We'll see.
Sure.
Yeah, just put a hand on their arm. I always like you better the other way. We all do. It's part of the not running thing.
He shifts back.
There's a washroom. You can just do it the old-fashioned way, analog, like the rest of us, with water.
Sure. And he kind of goes around you to move past, but just as he gets right next to you, he just kind of stops for a second. And he leans forward and kisses you right here. And kind of just murmurs, "Yeah, I loved you too."
You're killing us.
And he goes into the bathroom. And I'm
How much of that did Mouse Paru catch?
Oh, none, because you didn't see him leave. Fuck you, I'm letting that be a thing for them. Now, Beza, you realize that he's
totally
gone.
As soon as Villain leaves, I would lock the door and probably just cry.
My brain thought you would lock him in the bathroom.
No.
Stay there.
Villain in the bathroom by himself.
That's on his soundtrack. It's already there.
I win.
God, you think I'm joking, and I'm not.
I don't think
it's
you're joking
all,
at all.
All the sad boy musical numbers are on his playlist, and that is absolutely one of the first ones I put on there.
Very real.
Fuck. Okay. Okay. Does someone want to donate money to make a random magic thing happen so that I stop crying? That'd be great.
I have to say, as your friend, watching you cry is the most heartbreaking fucking thing, because I just want to be like,
I didn't think it was gonna happen. I swear, I was not. I was not expecting that. Fuck this. NB Bean. God damn it. Anyway. No, do not give us money if you're broke. Anyway. Love you, Lane. Don't do it. So, I probably still need a few minutes to kind of, but we'll soldier on.
Do you want to take a 5-minute break?
Yeah, you know what? Let's take a 5-minute break. Y'all are amazing, and we will take a 5-minute break, and then we will be back, and I will have simultaneously more and less liquids in my face. Okay, Mouse, sure. Wait till we get back. I promise I had fun things planned for tonight. Like genuinely funny things planned for tonight. Anyway, so yeah, we will be back in a moment and y'all be amazing. And I'm gonna go stop being
the analog way.
Stop being a mess. Yeah, we're good.
We'll be back in 5 minutes, everybody.
All right.
See you then. Mwah.
Do not adjust your picture. The DM has stopped crying. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for the break. I hope you had a very productive break. I did. I got chocolate.
That's pretty darn good.
Self-care. Very important, everybody. So we've got a little bit more of our session to tell. And we... no. Thank you, Mouse.
Uh-oh.
I think.
Harlan, spin, spin, spin. All right, I'm heading over to
Boy.
the
Okay,
wheel
that
of
is...
main overlay wheel. Let's go.
All right, let's see how this scene starts.
Ignore the
Chaos
broken
on-
cameras for a few minutes while we
Oh,
just spin
sure,
the
sure,
wheel.
Spinning now.
Spinning now, spinning now. What is happening to Harlan? Hocus pocus.
Oh, no. Okay.
That's promising.
Amuck, amuck,
Yeah,
amuck,
it
amuck.
does. Hocus pocus. Oh my god, this is so perfect. Okay. Okay. Great. So, you are so you're all in you're downstairs. We'll just say this happens right after the previous scene. Harland, Beza, and Paru, you are all downstairs. Beza, you just noticed that not only is Alia not here, but you just noticed that Verlaine is not here.
Did anyone else see them leave?
As a reminder, you are within 60 feet of the book.
Alia didn't make any secret that she was heading upstairs, but
Yeah, I just didn't notice Verlaine leaving. 1 second. Are you guys okay?
Yeah. I'm just washing my face. What?
I'm just checking. I'd send you a mental hug, but I don't know how to do that this way.
Sounds weird.
Sounds delightful.
Hey, short stack.
Hey, you.
what you do with a mental hug is you just kind of picture, Beza standing there, just below your waist height and with her arms outstretched, and then you just feel them just grab you right around the back of the knees, and then you have to
We're gonna
try not
stop
to
this
fall.
right now, dude. It's I'm gonna pass.
I mean, that sounds more like I'm about to suplex his legs or something instead of hugging him.
Or something.
I've seen you do both, so
Did Verlaine actually?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was absolutely simultaneous Paru and Verlaine, or something.
It's like they share a brain between them,
They do.
or a brain cell.
Yes.
Paru's finding all of these drift compatible people, but only in very specific circumstances. It's Ebb when you're talking about the Baba Yaga. It's Verlaine when you're making dirty jokes. It's
Sniffs when for pretty much anything else.
correct.
Oh.
Correct. So as you all are talking to each other via the Alia, you hear.
I hear it all, but I don't.
You
I'm
don't
not-
have
I
to.
can't.
No, you don't have to participate, but you hear it.
Yeah.
You do also hear the little. It just sounds like his voice is a little hoarse. Beza, you just kind of think it's early in the morning. Alia, you definitely hear there's a little croak. But as you're all there, you hear music outside, Harland. I'll be honest, I don't have a good example for what this is going to be.
all right.
I'm going to make a guess. No, that's not right. That's definitely not right. Oh, this will be funny. Perfect. No, you hear music outside. It's not exactly this. It's this melody, but it's a little more jaunty. Think Pumpkinhead from Cowboy Bebop the movie.
Okay.
That. And it's coming from outside.
Yo, hold that thought. I'll be right back. I think yeah, something.
Harlan, roll me a D100.
Boy.
Oh my god.
5.
5. Roll again.
I can re-roll.
Roll again. No, roll again. That's not funny.
95.
95 people are walking down. No, they're not walking. They're dancing down the street as if they are bespelled by something. It is like a mini parade. They're all in costume. They are dressed in all sorts of sort of mummers costumes. They are all different colors. They are full of fringe. They are sparkly and exciting, and it makes no goddamn sense. And they are just passing the street right in front of the shop. And there are 95 of them, all different types of people. What'd you say?
Charlie, you out there? I know this is you doing.
Oh my god.
And they're just like slowly slowly shifting down the street. And you hear someone come up behind you, and you see Ebb. What is happening?
I'm not quite sure, but I think it's my uncle. I think he dispensed some of his unknown contraptions upon these poor people who would not suspect anything so early in the morning.
This is very likely
it's
unsanctioned. Yes, very.
Harlan,
We should go inside, Harland.
I kind of feel like dancing.
That's not the music.
Hermina just starts playing. Okay, great.
This is fine. We'll do HR music. This is jaunty. This is fine. So yeah, Harland, Uncle Ebb just taps you on the shoulder, and he's glancing on either side of the street. We should get inside, Harland. This will not last long, I don't think.
Well, I mean, it'll last as long as it lasts, right? Until the music stops playing, and then people will disperse.
Harlan, we shouldn't do anything to draw attention to ourselves.
You hear a sort of an increased noise coming from one of the sides of the street. And you watch as 3 of those one-wheeled clockwork soldiers end up on the end of the street, away from where this dancing parade of people is. We should go inside, Harland.
Yep, back inside, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Harlan turns invisible just so that I'm heading back inside. Like you said, you said
you wouldn't want to be recognized. Yes, that makes sense. And he holds the door open.
I was holding it for you. I apologize.
Oh, thank you. And he just awkwardly walks back
and
inside.
We accidentally run into each other's shoulders.
So sorry.
I apologize. After you.
Thank you. You've jostled him enough that he goes inside. You can close the door then. We'll discuss things inside. Yes.
Baze, are you inside?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, goes inside, shuts the door, and like by this
time,
I was
really hoping you were just going to shut the door.
Shut the door and head the fuck back out to the parade. Truly, I was like, here we fucking go.
I mean,
Too late now,
okay.
Kyle.
So okay,
What you want to do, Kyle?
half of me
You took your finger off the
wants
chess
to-
piece.
You can
Yeah.
spend a reroll.
I did owe a reroll to Mouse as well for the punning. Okay, so the question is,
you wanna-
would
Yes.
Harland want to get Ebb in trouble?
Mm.
And
Would
it's
Harlan
like,
think he would get Ebb in trouble?
I don't believe so. So
What?
yes,
Like, okay. Spend a reroll, and we will rewind.
Oh my god. I love it.
so
You close the door.
close the door and move back out into the crowd, and then use disguise self to dress up as a mummer, like
Okay.
like one of the, like a
Yeah,
member of
you
the
just find,
crowd.
you find someone in like the far distant corner, so no one notices that they copied and pasted the crowd in CG. And
All the
and
Q-tips.
and you watch these three RoboCops. You watch these three clockwork TikTok clocks. TikTok cops. That's not, never gonna say that again. So these armored clockwork soldiers wheel forward on these sort of treaded wheels. They're for the most part, they just look like a figure from about the waist up. They just look like a figure wearing like a breastplate in bronze. And you hear this kind of like kind of clockwork as they roll forward and kind of roll back. It's very what's the name of him? Gizmo Duck? No. Who's the superhero?
It gives Gizmo Duck from
That
DuckTales.
was Gizmo? Okay, I thought Gizmo was the scientist. Anyway, whatever. It's the superhero duck from DuckTales. Just this kind of like wheel back. And you hear in sort of a bellowing voice. Actually, no. They look up and there's a gem on their hand. And they lift their hand up, and you watch as a little orb appears above the crowd. And from the orb, you hear a voice. This is an unsanctioned gathering. You will all disperse. Thank you.
Anyone
Harlan.
show signs of dispersing?
Everybody's still dancing. They're laughing. They're not paying attention. They're not hearing the announcement. A couple seconds pass. You all hear that voice. It's very loud. If you didn't hear the band, if you didn't hear the parade, you hear the voice. It's like thunder wave. It's like 300 feet away. You can hear it.
How far away did Harland go into the crowd?
I imagined he was just on the edge, but did you slip in?
I mean, yeah, he would have tried to slip in. Like, if he's gonna dance, he's gonna dance.
All right. At this
He
point,
felt the call of music.
The call of the music.
Yeah.
is he more than 60 feet away from the rest of us?
Probably. I mean, the door's also still closed. You also kind of catch on that. Well, actually, we'll say Ebb. Harlan's not in the room, is he?
I love Uncle Ed.
God damn it.
It is for the best you do not go outside. They will. I don't know what they will do, but they will quell it soon enough.
Oh, this is interesting.
You guys, Holland went outside.
Okay, he's allowed. Isn't he?
Yeah, except that he went outside to dance. The music outside, there's a bunch of random people in weird costumes dancing. And the automatons showed up and he went outside. I don't see him, so I think maybe he made himself look different. But we got a problem.
Oh yeah, you hear the door to the bathroom in the hallway open, and Verlaine like head down to. We didn't really establish where the rooms were, but like, let's say the guest room is on the end, facing the facing the street, and you hear Verlaine sort of stomping towards the guest room, presumably to look out the window. Harland, a couple seconds pass. You will receive no further warnings. You will disperse or countermeasures will be released.
What you talking about with countermeasures?
You don't get a response. And the crowd doesn't respond either. They're just dancing. Loud. The music. Harlan, you realize the music's not really coming from anywhere. There are some drummers, but there's like horns and stuff that are not accounted for.
Can I feel the people in the crowd? Like, is this?
Yeah, they're people. You touch them. I mean, one of them's just like, hey, like kind of nudges you back, like, don't start a mosh pit, Harlan.
There goes that idea.
No, you're starting a skank ring. He does have all those harlots.
I was like, there's no harlequins out here.
Oh, thank you. Now I just want art of Harlan in Mighty Mighty Boss Tones suit with a trill hat.
I need this.
It's like the one style he can't pull off. Sorry, serious. So no one's reacting. What are you doing inside? We'll say this is happening like right around the same time. This is going to be very quick succession of events. Paru, are you doing anything? You hear the voice outside. You will not have another warning. Countermeasures will be enacted.
Shoot.
Oliet,
I don't know if I can do anything.
you hear the voice. You've seen like mechanist authorities breaking up fights or breaking up like unruly behavior. You've never seen them use lethal force. So like you're not convinced like that's the threat of what's happening. But it's still like not great that there's apparently a giant group of people doing something very chaotic.
Ireland, if you can hear me, get your ass inside now. Through the book.
Mm-hmm. Do you hear anything? Harlan, you're like...
I don't believe so.
I don't think he hears it.
The music that's been playing seemingly from nowhere in his head and the hubbub, I don't think that he'd hear it even if he was in range. Bye.
It's okay.
I genuinely don't know what I can do. Yeah, I don't know what I can do.
How far away from the house we're in are they? I'm assuming Beza can like peek out a window from where she's at.
Yeah. You can. What was the question?
How far away are the mechanical soldier people?
They're slowly, like as they were making that second announcement, they were slowly rolling forward to like sort of break the distance. They are probably within 30-40 feet of the front of the store. They wheel up. Harlan, you watch as they I can't see real quick. Tessa, are we okay with the frame for now? No, not a problem. We should come up with some backup ones that are just like different configurations and then they don't have names on them and you can just turn that on if everyone ever drops. Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, you, Harlan, you see them roll up, and then they all put their hands out, and they all have these sort of yellow gems, very polished, not even faceted. They just look like orbs, sort of.
Start
on there,
dancing my way to an alley, or like try
Sure.
to get to
Okay.
the edge of the crowd.
Okay. And in this sort of flash of light, Harlan, you slip into this alleyway, you kind of shimmy in, and then you get sort of struck in the shoulder by this gust of wind. This very heavy, like, let's say someone cast gust from each hand, and there are 3 of them. So it's a gust times 6. And you just watch as the whole crowd, like a bunch of Muppets in the wind, get just bowled over. And they all just... It would be funny. It would be funny. But you definitely get the sense of just, like, ragdolling. They're people. They're just kind of all... They all kind of, like, crumple into a pile. Music is still playing, and you watch as the clockwork authorities roll up a little closer. You start to hear what sounds like train tracks, like and at the front of the street, so say this was all happening on the block in front of the storefront, you see 2 clockwork, like, wagons or, like, transports, vehicles. The doors open up from the back, and you see a mix of clockwork people, more that look kind of like that investigator, sort of thin and wearing some sort of uniform, and a few organic people, a few mortals, also wearing the uniform, kind of hustling it.
Are they wearing a, like, a recognizable, like, emblem or anything like that?
Yeah, it's the Mechanist Authority.
The light was flickering ominously.
It's Chris trying to re-enter our stream.
So,
she will hex her way back into the game.
So, I think Harland would, since he's the only one still in a mummer's costume, like right here, I think Harlan will drop his disguise.
Okay.
And I think his first instinct is to make sure that these people are going to be okay. This looks like they look like paddy wagons, right? They're
Yeah, they definitely do.
Okay. So trying to stay back in the alley, just like, if there's like a drain spout or something that he can like kind of hide behind, I guess. He's trying to stay unobtrusive for the moment until it looks like the wagons are not surrounded by people / robots. Robots.
Mm-hmm. Not Robert was the name of the gremlin.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
No, Robert.
Yes, Robert the gremlin.
Mm-hmm.
Robert the gremlin person.
Sorry, continue, Cal.
And if that occurs, he's going to kind of look at the wheels and start to mold earth.
Okay.
To go.
Sure.
Go. Tell me when I need to stop.
No, just hold on there. I'll describe what's going on. The Mechanist Authority. There are drivers in the cars. The Mechanist Authority officers head over to these crumpled people and start pulling them out of the pile. And the non-clockwork, the clockwork ones are the ones that are hauling them out. The non-clockwork ones are the ones that are kind of like, it almost looks like they're checking for vitals. Like they're like these people are conscious. They're just a little shaken, and they're like checking eyes and like this kind of like talking to them, holding fingers up. Like they seem like they're actually acting more as like EMTs than cops. The clockworks are the ones that were sort of like hauling people up. But then like as one of them gets kind of okayed, the clockwork person sort of like gently escorts them towards the back of the truck. It's up to you if you want to still try to do this between the people getting checked and the people getting sent to the truck.
Yeah, I think that he'd try to time it so that it might require some rolls. He's going to try to keep it surreptitious, but what he's doing is he's trying to mold Earth to go around the wheels,
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
like a boot.
Yeah. You're trying to boot the truck.
Yeah,
right.
I'm trying to boot
them.
boot the tires of the truck, specifically the back wheels, and then the front wheels. So once the back wheels are done, then on both, then he would go for the front wheels after that.
Okay. The music is still playing. This sort of like jaunty parade music. And you are slowly trying to, as quietly as you can, you are dealing with pavement and cobblestone. So there's a little bit of a, as the soil kind of erupts up from the stonework, and a couple of clanking of like cinder block kind of sound as the earth starts molding up over one of the tires. Do you like harden it then? You like pack it down?
He's gonna try to like basically cement the tires in place.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of crunch them down. Give me a stealth check as you try to get away after doing that. You only do it on one of the tires, or you do it as many as you can?
Specifically, like one back tire, then the other wagon, one back tire, and then basically like forth, trying to.
Well, you get to the one back tire, then you get to the second back tire, and by then they're being escorted to the truck. So you get one of each.
I would like to. I'm really invested in this. I would like to expend Tides of Chaos to re-roll that 7.
Sure. Absolutely. Please.
That's a 13.
13, okay. So you good question. Calm down, Bolt. Yeah, they don't see you. Rolled a 5. So you sort of slowly go to the back one, and you see the people.
Do they look like they still like are in a dancing mood, or are they like have they been?
They're just kind of like there's a little bit of a little shuffle, but they're being pulled off. Sorry, just okay. So yeah, you are you're watching as these people, you slip away into another alley, like as these people are being slowly carted into the vehicle. They're like the size of buses, like school buses, but like a bench. It's a paddy wagon the size of a school bus. You suspect they're not going to be able to fit everybody into these. And you start hearing as another 2 of these buses pull up. Yeah, because they realized, oh, wrong, like too few. And you watch as they're all being like, no one has noticed the wheels yet. And then they start carting them into the other 2 wagons, or the other paddy wagon. He got me saying wagon. Into the other buses, and eventually somebody notices a non-clockwork person is like waiting at the door and then kind of, hey, and looks down. One of the other ones is looking down. They're kind of like kicking the tire. They rush forward to the front of the truck and like holler something at the driver. And the you watch a little flicker happen inside the car. You're not sure what that is. And there is a very gentle sound of a siren in the distance.
Okay.
What the fuck did he do?
This is not good.
I don't know. It looks like he was fucking with the tires.
Not good. Not good.
Harland, if you can hear me, get your furry blue ass back in this building.
Nope, can't hear him. You're thinking, man, Baze is probably so mad at me right now.
I can't fly or I can get out as an animal and try and find him and bring him back, but I can't fly or anything. What do you suggest?
Harlan, you see, you hear actually, and you feel a little something on your shoulder. Hear it? You look, and there's a little clockwork bird, like a little songbird. It has bright little blue eyes.
Hi there, friend.
And it opens its mouth, and you hear, "You should come with me if you want to get out."
Oh,
Thank God.
yes.
Go with Vector.
Yeah.
Go with Vector.
Yes.
The bourgeoisie will not defeat us.
Oh,
The birds work for the bourgeoisie.
for a second, Harlan like stops, and then continues. It's like evaluating whether or not he wants to go with this this freedom fighter.
And the little bird just sort of and flies into. I'm sorry, Lane. I'm sorry. We have a so Lane and I are officially the two the two casualties of tonight's episode. So the bird flutters almost around a corner, and you watch as one big eye stares at you from around the corner, and you see in camo, still inappropriate for the environment, slips over, kind of waddles out, and the bird's fluttering around up top, kind of flutters at you again. You coming to what?
He comes over.
The bird flies back towards Vector, and you watch Vector open a little bit, like a mouth, and the bird just flies inside. He's, come on. And
You just ate your friend.
No, I keep him in there. Come on.
He is his own
And
birdhouse.
He is the birdhouse in your soul. No, it's where I keep my birdhouse and my soul. And you watch as and Vector's just like, come on.
Eve will follow after Beck, kind of glancing over his shoulder to make sure that, like, a couple of times, not too many.
Where are your comrades?
Oh.
They have not been taken, have they? Do we need to stage a prison break?
No, they should be fine.
I'm not prepared for that right now.
I don't think that they joined the rather contagious dance that just occurred out on the street.
Oh, glorious, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Glorious, wasn't it?
Was that you?
Oh no, but I make sure to keep track of any odd chaotic surges.
Oh, we're going to be seeing a lot of you.
Oh, well, I hope so. If you will be around for any of these events, if you're around for any of these events, we are certainly to be fast allies.
Did I break you, Kyle?
No.
Yes!
Kyle, Angela, and Lane, the casualties of the session.
Okay.
Vindication.
Okay. Good.
Do I need to send a message to your comrades?
Yeah, they're in a bookstore. They're in a bookstore across the way.
Oh yes, I
Um,
saw the sign. They're there. Is it safe? Is it
Yeah.
secure?
As far as I'm aware, it seemed to be pretty cozy.
All right. What would you like to tell them?
Tell them that I am fine, but I have ended my short-lived career as a street performer, and will rejoin them at your earliest convenience.
I will paraphrase. And you hear a little like inside like a bird inside an oil barrel. You hear and he just goes and the bird flies out of his mouth.
I don't think I've
And he
ever
watches
been
this little clockwork songbird flies off and heads towards the bookshop.
Well, you got anything else in there? Just rattling around.
That's classified.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry.
You will certainly not pry me.
I don't have a pry on me. I don't know that I could. Hi, I'm Harlan. I think we might have gotten off on the wrong foot.
Did we meet? Did they meet?
Yes.
Did you meet? Okay. Shh. Names in public. Are you mad? I'll have to get you a code name.
And a code
For now,
jacket.
it will be impertinent. And he and he will he grabs your hand and starts like rushing you around the corner. The rest of you hear Villain in your heads. There's a clock bird trying to get into my window.
Be right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it.
Well, don't hit it. 'Cause,
And
yeah.
it's fine. You don't hear anything at first. If you start heading upstairs, you hear a window open.
Yeah, I'm going.
You hear a very familiar voice. You hear Vector, the Modron.
Oh, okay.
Allies of the impertinent one.
You must mean Highland.
I have taken your ally to a safe house. If you wish to reconvene with us, follow the bird after midnight. For after midnight, it is open mic night. And that's where we're ending the session.
God.
I thought that the narwhal baconed at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that is the end of the session. So, God, this was a yo-yo.
Yes, it was. This was an up and downer.
So you can see the tone I was going for tonight, and then just it didn't work out. All right, everybody, you're amazing. And may I say, Mouse, your donation of that Wild Magic Surge, Hocus Pocus, in which D100 non-player characters in costume begin dancing in the area as if bespelled, ended up being a plot point. That's great. I'm so excited. That I didn't plan.
You missed Angela breaking us all with tears and
Oh, yeah, if
then
you
absolute
rewind,
hilarity.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, Mitch. I cried on camera. It's great. Anyway, let's wrap up. Chris, wish you could be here, but we know your internet was being a dum dum. So I'm glad you at least got to watch the end of the stream. It's okay. We just missed your delightful facial reactions to what I just did.
Yep.
But it's fine.
The narwhal bacons at midnight, and the birds work for the
Oh.
bourgeoisie.
Tomorrow at midnight, it is open mic night.
Yes, I am still being a silly butt.
Which is the title of next week's episode.
Open mic night. Got it.
It's MIKE, by the way.
I don't want to open up Heather's husband. That sounds messy.
No, it's just inspired by Heather's husband.
No. Awesome.
Uh-oh.
Mike,
so many bad things given our past D&D games.
Mike, my beautiful secret storyteller who has whispered thoughts into my ear since the beginning of this campaign.
Damn it, Mike.
He came up with the metronomes. Anyway, so next week, chapter 19, open mic night. I might respell Mike. I'm not sure yet. It might be something else, but it's not MIC. KEY.
MOUAC?
Yeah, thank you. My brain stopped. Hold on. Hi, everybody. We're ending our stream now. And we will be here next week, same time, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday, for our next chapter of Shenanigoons. Very much looking forward to the bizarre yo-yo of emotional turmoil that we have come to expect from this show, and the chaos we have come to expect from your generous support of our show. Once again,
And Harland.
Yes, thank you so much for our network, now nerdsmith.org. We are not just members, we are directors. We very much appreciate everybody who supports us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdsmith. You all are amazing. I will have credit sequences very soon that will thank our patrons. So that is another little bonus that you get for becoming our patron. You'll get your name on the screen during our session or during the end of session. We also would like to thank our sponsors, World Anvil, Eldritch Foundry, and Die Hard Dice. Once again, check out Die Hard Dice. Our monthly featured dice set to talk about is the Copper Purple Alloy set. It's a beautiful polymer dice set. You can find it at the link in our chat, and you can use the code Nerdsmith-MAR, as in March. Nerdsmith-MAR for 10% off your purchase. So please check it out and help us help you get pretty shiny click-clacks.
Absolutely. And stay tuned for information on the quest that I might be sending you all on to get the dice back from the dice
Robert,
gremlin. Robert, the dice gremlin. Yes.
You all are awesome. Thank you so much, players. You know I love you all. And thank you so much, viewers. We appreciate the heck out of you. Follow us here on Twitch or on Twitter, both at We Are Nerdsmith, and you can find out when we go live. We, do shows every so often that are kind of standalones. I will be running Discover RPG tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for about an hour. We will be continuing A Little Birdie Bought Me Chicken Police, the full game. And so we are continuing through our detective noir adventure with photorealistic animal pictures on people stock image bodies. It is bizarre and amazing. And if you've ever wanted to hear me as a hard-boiled detective named Sonny Santiago say, "Shut the cluck up," you should come watch us. It is very good. And yes, it's wonderful. Anyway, as I said, we'll be here next week. You all have a wonderful night. Have a great rest of your week. Be safe. Make good choices. Wear a mask. We love you. Vote. Any other life choices? Bake cookies. Wash your hands. Bake cookies and send them to your friends after you wash your hands. good. And we will see you all next time. And please, please do me a favor and be good to each other. All right. Good night, everybody. To be continued.